Hey everyone, it's Types, and recently I made a video going over a lot of the cards printed last year, specifically the best ones, and talked about how they're not that impressive, and well, this could be good to reduce power creep, and if you want more info, check that video out, which I released maybe yesterday, maybe the day before, not 100% sure. Um, you know, I think it's fun to see good cards, and it looks like 2026, based on the relatively small amount of cards we've seen revealed, looks like the cards are going to be pretty good here. And as I said, it's a small amount of cards, specifically if you're not familiar, essentially every year. For example, we look at this year, we got Prismatic Evolutions. Last year we had, was it Paldean Fates? The year before was Crown Zenith. So looking at like every year we have a set that kind of wraps up the previous year. If we actually look in Japan, where is it? I think Terastal Fest EX made up Prismatic Evolutions. That was released 2024 and not this year in Japan. Same thing for Paldean Fates. I think that's what this is. And then Crown Zenith was released in 2022 in December. So the cards are actually released a year earlier, or like in the previous year in Japan. So in Japan right now, we've seen the expansion Mega Dream EX, which is making up a good chunk of the expansion. What's it called? It's here on Pokemon Proxies. Oh, Ascended Heroes. There we go. I'm so on top of this here. But yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. And I'm going to go over some of those cards. Also, sorry if my voice is a little bad. I am a little under the weather. All right, now hopefully it's not too bad. But then also, it's going to be made up of the starter decks 100 battle collection. Both the starter decks 100 battle collection and the expansion Mega Dream EX both have a lot of reprints. There are some like good cards in that set. Don't actually know what's in Ascended Heroes. There are probably going to be some good reprints, but I'm not talking about reprints. I generally don't really talk much about reprints unless they get a new regulation mark, which I'm pretty sure they're not. Also, another thing from this set, the regulation mark, if you're not familiar, that's what determines rotation. So, for example, in standard format right now, it's G regulation mark and on. So, for example, the first expansion that was legal of the G regulation mark was Scarlet and Violet, the base set. So we have like Breloom. I don't know why I clicked on that one, but like Gardevoir EX is going to rotate. And what has been reprinted in Paldean Fates, which came out not this year, it came out last year. It wasn't reprinted with a new regulation mark. And that's true for like the cards in standard. Right now, they are different regulation marks going all the way up to I in Phantasmal Flames. Like Mega Charizard XDX here has the I regulation mark. That's true for some of the cards from Mega Dream EX, but not all of the cards. So look, Pokemon Proxies here. The cards from Mega Dream, which I was just showcasing, have the I regulation mark. I believe they all do. However, the cards from the Star Dex 100 Battle Collection will have the J regulation mark. I mean, not all of them. Like, Mega EX here, it's a reprint. It's not going to get a new regulation mark. Same thing. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of cards in this set, by the way. It's making up 100 decks. There's 742 cards in the set. But if you look at there's got to be some good trainers, right? Like Boss, surely. Oh, I forgot the cards are in a different order in Japan, I think. But if you look for Boss got a new art as well, and I don't remember which art it is. Oh, here it is. Oops. Boss is not reprinted with a new regulation mark. It's with the I regulation mark, not the J regulation mark, like with where's a new card? There's not a lot of new cards in the set, by the way. Mega Audino EX, which I'll actually talk about a little bit, I think. This card has a new regulation mark, the J regulation mark, and most of the cards releasing this coming year in 2026. I believe I'm releasing this in 2025, but I might be releasing it in 2026. Those cards will have the J regulation mark again for the most part. And then there are, as I said, some new cards, but not that many. Looking at Poke Beach from these 100 decks, there are just, I think, 57, and the main card is PokePad. PokePad is coming in Mega Dream EX, presumably. I mean, it's out in Japan right now, and this card is very good. I'll pull it up on PokemonProxies.com. It is also coming out in Ludicrous Zero, or whatever the name of the set is in Japan, which is not out yet. That set's releasing in like at the beginning of next year. We've seen some reveals for it. Really just these reveals here, and a PokePad is in that set, being reprinted in that set. This is not the first set that's coming in Japan. But anyways, this is an item that lets you search your deck for a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. This card is so good. This card is like absurdly good, right? If you look at the best cards in Standard, I'd say the best cards in Standard, you have some supporters like Boss and Iono and a couple others, and then you have what Pheasant DX is the best Pokemon in the game realistically, and I don't think there's any other Pokemon I put in that like true top tier. I recently actually made a video or a podcast episode with my Count Fossil where we rank them. You can check that out, and I think we put Gardevoir EX in that top tier, but I would definitely say Pheasant EX is better than Gardevoir EX, so they're pretty hard to compare, but then you look at something like Night Stretcher, maybe is probably in there, but then you're definitely going to have the cards, the item search cards. I was going to say Buddy Poffin, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, but you could argue that maybe some of them don't belong there. But certainly item search is or item Pokemon search is very powerful. With PokePad being a card that just does this very well. We are specifically talking standard. I will quickly mention this card is going to be an auto include, and realistically, every GLC deck, if you're not playing it, you're playing something super bizarre. You can't get it with Ball Guy, but it's like very good. In standard, if we look at the meta game, oh, let me scroll up faster here because, as I said, big set. But looking at the metagame, we see actually I'll split things up. We see that in the top 10, the only true single prize deck is Alakazam the Dunsparce, which plays essentially no multi prizes. It plays Pheasant DX. I'm pretty sure it's the only one that it essentially ever plays, and that card's obviously good, and you can't find it with PokePad, but you can find literally everything else with PokePad. You see like Dusk Ball maybe in the deck. Nest Ball. I mean, Nest Ball can grab Pheasant EX. Pheasant EX is very good. I mean, it's just good, but as I was just saying. But I think this card is gonna be a fourth in Alakazam like every time. I've seen some lists, and all the Alakazam lists I've seen since this card have come out have been playing 4 copies of it. I mean, it doesn't get as many cards as Buddy Poffin, and having cards that are more efficient in the deck is very important because efficiency is going to be, you know, letting you have more cards in hand, and you do damage based on cards in hand or damage counters, which will actually matter in just a little bit, which we'll talk about. But ultimately, this is the only single price deck that's like, I mean, it's the best one. I mean, Alexam, let's be honest, Alexam isn't that good. From time to time, I get comments of people saying it's like super good, and like maybe they're not. Maybe they, I don't know. I have a feeling they just like lost to it, which happens, right? It can, I mean, it can do a lot of damage. It's not a bad deck, but it's like it's a little overplayed because it's a single prize deck, and single prize decks are fun. It is fun. You draw so many cards, but if your opponent hits you with a couple of Ionos, then that's not great, especially if they have like a lot of HP and or if they hit your bench. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong for the deck. But anyways, now looking at other deck or looking at other single prize decks, what is there? There's uh Ethan's. There's Crustle. There's Festival Lead. Yeah, Festival Lead is going to play this, I guess. But for the most part, there aren't true single prize decks. I don't think this card's going to make single prize decks amazing or good, but I do think it is going to help them a little. But to be honest, even in a deck like, oh, okay, I do want to mention. So this is coming out a little before rotation, but for the most part, it's coming out post rotation. Arven is rotating, though. We will still have Team Rocket's Petrol, which is a supporter that lets you search for a trainer. It does some other stuff it does. I mean, it's a Team Rocket supporter, which is kind of cool, but ultimately not super meaningful. But with the supporter Team Rocket's Petrol, that might be replacing Arven, but maybe people just won't really run it because Arven does have good value. Though, to be honest, the tool is often not super important, but this isn't a debate over rotation or anything like that, really. But we do have the card Buddy Poffin, which is played, and we see like different items, and you can search them out with Arven, and you can do it with Team Rocket's Petrol post rotation, and you can get PokePad, which is going to be useful, and this can be useful for like any deck in the game, like Dragapult, Goldengo, okay, those were not Goldengo. Ignore the Goldengo thing. Ignore I was actually Charizard or Gardevoir. Those are the top 4 decks right now. But the decks post rotation because most of those are rotating. But like if you want to play this card with Team Rocket's Petrol, play like a bunch of these one PokePad. It's still a very good Pokemon search card. Specifically, if you look at like Dragapult, it can get you. Okay, it's like very good in Dragapult. It gets you almost everything. To be honest, it gets you your Dreepies, your Drakelokes, your Duskthorn line. It can get Hawlucha, which isn't so meaningful. It can get Badoo, which is meaningful, and it can get Monkey Dory, which again not going to be super meaningful. Though you can't search it with Buddy Poffin. I mean, Mukidori can be nice in Dragapult, but generally it's not something you're looking for very early anyways. And I suppose you can often, like, you'll sometimes get it just by drawing with the Dracoloak throughout the game. Oftentimes, because I've been playing a bunch of Dragapult recently to play an actual meta deck for once. And, yeah, Mukidori you'll, like, end up with generally when you need it. You have Ultra Ball. Wait, Ultra Ball? Is Nest Ball rotating? Nest Ball's Okay, yeah, I think Dustball is rotating. I'm not 100%. Well, okay, we don't know what's rotating actually. We kind of do, but in terms of trainers, there are going to be some reprinted, probably in Municus Zero or Perfect Order. So we do need to wait and see there. But yeah, this card's going to be pretty nice for some different situations. Even in these multi-prize stacks, you look at something like Mega Absol Box, it's like terrible, right? It doesn't get essentially anything, right? I mean, it gets a handful of things, but it's very, very mediocre slash bad, honestly. There, and something like Mega Lopunny Dusknoir might be good. And then it's going to be very good with Noctowl. I'm a big fan of Noctowl. I think it's just like good and it's very fun in my opinion as well. But anyways, with Noctowl, you can get the Hoot Hoot, the Noctowl, or the Fan Rotom, or you can even get Ditto as well. And that's going to be useful, obviously. You can do that with Buddy Buddy Poffin, more or less, but it is nice. It's not having crazy utility. If you're playing a deck like Charizard Noctowl, obviously, again, Charizard rotating, but like Greninja Noctowl or something, I don't know if that's any good, but I figured I'd mention it, where you have these various different single prize lines, or just evolution lines, or single prizers, because obviously evolution lines have previous evolutions that are single prizes. This is good. Overall, PokePad is going to be good in a wide variety of decks. I don't expect it to be a four of in like every deck in the game. I think it is worse than Buddy Buddy. Oh, actually, I think it's better than Buddy Buddy Poffin. I think you'll see a little less play. I'm generally someone who likes cards that are a bit more versatile over cards that are a bit more powerful. I will mention specifically regarding Hawlucha, though Hawlucha is rotating, and I don't know if there's really any other cards like this except for one to actually talk about, but it's a multi-prizer. But it has an on-play ability there. There's like Chim Power, I guess, and there's a handful of cards that have on-play abilities that are basics that you put them onto the bench from your hand and then you do something. And these cards don't work with Nest Ball, they don't work with Buddy Buddy Poppin, so PokePad is going to be nice there. Ultimately, PokePad is pretty obviously a good card. I think the only question is exactly how good it will be. I haven't heard anyone say it's a bad card or anything like that. But if you're not for like, I don't know, it's very good, right? It is very good. But then we have the other card that's also very good. This card I think people will be a little less familiar with, which is Meowth EX, as in less familiar with seeing cards like it. But some people definitely are as well. Meowth EX here is a card that has the ability Trump Card Catch. I'll talk a little bit more about some of the weird nuances to this ability and later in this video, I guess, and presumably in a oh my voice, presumably in a later video, though I guess maybe not, but. Anyways, you do have Talk Tail as well for 3 colors, which is a little expensive, but allows you to return this Pokemon and all cards attached to your hand and do 60, which is all right because you have the ability Trump Card Catch, which is when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn. Again, this is from your hand onto your bench, and I guess during your turn, though, that probably won't matter. Your opponent could let like Erica's Invitation pre-rotation, which this card is coming out post-rotation because it's coming out in Municus Zero in Japan. And I guess with Municus Zero coming out in Japan, we'll actually see rotation. It's going to be before rotation internationally. But anyways, this says you search your deck for a supporter and reveal and put into your hand, and you can only use one ability with Trump card in its name per turn. Now, of course, there aren't any abilities in Standard with Trump card in their name. This is interesting. I'm wondering if it's part of a box style deck. It kind of so there is a card. Let me see. Where is the card? There we go. So I guess I'll check. I'll just search tax then Trump. Maybe there's something like yeah, there's like Trumbeak, and then there's oh, okay. Well, apparently, wait, no, this isn't even an ability. This is a Poke Power. So that's doesn't even interact with Meowth EX. Like so, okay. So apparently, there's this looking with Trump card, which says. It's like a search ability. This was actually pretty good. Once you turn to when your Pokemon were knocked out last turn, search your deck for any one card put into your hand. Maybe we'll see this ability reprinted because it has the name Trump card. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not very familiar with older cards. But anyways, that's interesting. But then there is the card Lysander's Trump card. Lysander's Trump card is interesting. I've mentioned this when I saw the Meowth EX revealed. Also, it is interesting. It is Meowth. Not Persian, and also interesting that's Meowth, which is a like traditionally Team Rocket's Pokemon. It's not literally a Team Rocket's Pokemon, but I was wondering if it kind of had to do with that. But anyways, we see Lysander's Trump card here, which is a very powerful supporter. This is like one of the best Pokemon cards of all time. It says that each player shuffles their all the cards in their discard into their deck. Except for Lysander's Trump card, which doesn't really matter, to be honest. It kind of matters, but hardly. So anyways, it gives you infinite access to resources. This card's super broken, whatever. I don't expect them to reprint this because, like, obviously, right? But this card is interesting that it shares the name Trump card. It is more relevant than I think the Slowking there, or was it? Yeah, Slowking. So, anyways, did want to point that out. That is pretty interesting. But then in terms of like if there'll be other cards in like a cycle with it, that'd be pretty cool because this ability is very good, right? Like obviously I said the cards are very good. There's specifically two very good cards, PokePad and Meowth EX. There's some other cool ones as well, but I'm gonna highlight those a bit later, near like the end of the video. But searching deck for a supporter every turn is super powerful. If there was something that you had to like trade off between, say, if there's a card like this Meowth EX, then there was also a card like say Dedenne GX, Squawkabilly EX, Pheasantipty EX, or some other powerful supporting Pokemon we've seen in the past. Maybe Shaman EX, some just like really powerful ability that's similar to Meowth EX. Then you decide between which one you want to use every turn. That's pretty interesting. To be honest, though, I feel like it's mostly going to be a non-factor. Either one. I guess theoretically the other ability could be a lot stronger than this ability. I highly doubt that. I mean, this is like a very powerful ability, but it could be. It's probably going to be if there's another ability kind of similar. It's probably going to be a lot worse. So you're probably just always going to use this one over the other one, and it'll just make the other card bad. And then there's also the chance that it could be on a similar power level. But I imagine, I mean, this one's a once per game ability, like per card. I mean, you could reuse it with Turos, or no, you could reuse it. Is there a way to reuse this? I was say Turos or Penny, but I think they're both rotating, aren't they? I don't know. There's like Scoop of Cyclone or whatever, which I guess you could use to reuse this. But for the most part, this is not going to be a thing you're reusing. You might play a couple of these in your deck if you want to, but ultimately, it's a card that obviously it's an unplayability, right? It's a non-playability. These aren't things they're using all the time. They take up bench space. They have their issues. They're very good, but you're not going to be playing like 5 of these in the game. That's like not really even possible and not very useful. So if there's another unplayability, then you're just going to use them in different turns. It's not going to be a huge deal. I don't think so. I don't know. It's like weird. There's this like clause in it. But anyways, let's get to the actual part of what it does. Again, it searches for support every turn. This is no, not every turn. The turn you play it. So it turns something like an Ultra Ball into a Pokemon search. It is a 170 HP basic 2-prizer, which is a substantial liability. I'm trying to think what 170 HP basic 2 prizes there are in standard. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything good. Oh, there's actually one card. It's Dedenne GX. Wasn't there a Mimikyu EX? This Mimikyu, I don't know. Okay, apparently there's a Mimikyu X. I think it has 160. But anyways, this is low and the same HP as Lumineon V and Tapu. Oops, that's not it. Tapu Lele GX. These two cards are like the same. Essentially, they have an on-play from hand onto your bench during your turn. You search your deck for a supporter, put into your hand. Reveal it. I didn't say reveal it, but you reveal it. And so that is very good. These two cards were very powerful. Lumineon V was it was good. I don't think it was super good. I mean, it was good. It was like a very good card. I wouldn't say it's as strong as Pheasantipty EX. Not recently, a little while ago, made a poll ranking or asking people what they thought was the best of 4 different 2-prize basic Pokemon with powerful abilities. I had Pheasantipty EX on there. I had Squawkabilly. No, I didn't have Squawkabilly. I had Pheasantipty EX, Dedenne GX, which is like Squawkabilly EX, but like a lot better. Crobat V, not Crobat V, Shaman EX, which is better Crobat V, and I had Tapula. I had Lele, Fez, Dedenne, and Shaman. Most people said Shaman. That's probably the best one. I was mainly aiming for standard. I mean, Shaman's maybe even better when it was in standard than expanded. I don't know. But anyways, Tapu Lele GX is very good as well. It's like legitimately in that similar caliber of card, like a truly game-defining card like Pheasantipty EX, played in every deck. Just amazing. But a big reason why Lumineon V is worse than Tapu Lele GX is the fact that Tapu Lele GX was during a different era of Pokemon, specifically when there's a different rule that allowed you to play supporters in the first turn of the game going first, and you can't do that now, right? So Tapu Lele, and when Tapu Lele V was out. So Tapu Lele V was like nice, but if you had a dead hand, and we're going first, then it doesn't help you. That doesn't mean it's a bad card. Lumineon V was still good. Tapu Lele GX would allow you to get a setup supporter turn 1. And luckily, there is a card in standard that can do that, which is Carmen. Obviously, there are a lot of good supporters. I was talking about the best cards in the game, and a lot of them are supporters, but Carmen is the card that isn't rotating. You can play it with Meowth EX. Turn 1, play Meowth EX, grab Carmen. It's also a bit of a replacement to Squawkabilly EX, allowing you to, turn 1, use it. Keep in mind, this doesn't work with something like Nest Ball. It only works with effects that put Pokemon into your hand, or, I mean, if you're searching for it. It doesn't work with, something that pops it directly onto the bench. Realistically, it's going to be working a lot of time if you just draw it as well. Just in your opening hand, but it is very good. It's kind of like Squawkabilly EX again with that search, like that minor search clause there. But then it can work on other turns. It does draw you one less card as well, and takes the support out of your deck, which are both bad things, but it's still very good. I mean, if you have a dead hand, then getting out of the dead hand is a huge deal, really, no matter what. So Carmen's gonna be, I think, very, very good with the new Meowth EX. And then obviously, you're gonna have stuff like I think research might be rotating, but you have like Liz Determination is gonna be the main supporter. I think post rotation. Obviously, you have Boss. You can use it to get Boss for game. You could use it to grab 006 Machinations if you wanna just like lose or something. So Meowth the X is going to be a card that is going to give you a lot of options. Now, I'm trying to think of like an actual good third support. Okay, 006 Machinations is like not the worst support in the game, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be Lilies and Boss, I think. As I think Research is rotating. I'm pretty sure Iono is rotating. Research is the one that I think will rotate, to be honest. That's my guess, that it won't rotate because they'll reprint it in this set. And there's probably going to be good support in this set. It is the first set of the year, and it's the first set of the year, and it's the first time that this block is having a first set of the year, if that makes sense. Like, normally that's the first set, right? But the first set of Mega Evolution was Mega Evolution. The first set of Scarlet and Violet was obviously Scarlet and Violet, but Scarlet and Violet was also the first set of the year, or the first main set of the year. So it's kind of weird. I don't know if we're going to see staples within the set much. I mean, we do see PokePad. That's not even the first time it's coming out. We have Meowth EX, which is like a staple supporter, but ultimately, I'm not exactly sure how many other really powerful cards we're going to get in this set. But those two cards, as I said, are really, really amazing. Then we do have a handful of other cards as well that I wanted to talk about here. We have notably some fighting support. Also, there's a Mega Skarmory EX. I guess I'll talk about this. You shuffle all energy from this into your deck. You do 220 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I haven't actually talked about this card on the channel yet. It's not very good, right? It's okay. 220 Snipe is like all right. You lose the energy, but it's not spectacular. It's fine. The Ogre Punch is still going to be some of the best Pokemon you can hit with this, which you can't hit. So the likelihood of actually having a good target is pretty low. There's a 3-prize basic with low HP, though it does have free retreat, which is kind of fun. Mega Zygarde EX, really wacky card. Not going to go over it too much here. It's okay. There's also a Mega Gladiax not on this page. There's Rock Fighting Energy. It's a special fighting energy, which is like Mist Energy, stopping effects of attacks, which actually stops Alakazam, which is like kind of funny. Bad for it. I mean, Alakazam's, one of those decks where there's like so many things that can go so badly for it. But yeah, Rock Fighting is whatever. We got Lumio City, which like plops a Pokemon from the deck onto your bench. Basic, but ends your turn. Seems kind of bad. Naveen's some mediocre draw supporter. Got Tarragon, which is like Nessa or Tulip, which you have in standard, to recover fighting types, fighting Pokemon, or basic fighting energy there. We have Barbaracle as well, a pretty decent fighting energy acceleration Pokemon, kind of like what we see from Electric. It's from hand, and only to fighting Pokemon. Definitely interesting there. In the Ascendant Heroes set, we have a handful of Megas. For the most part, I don't think Ascendant Heroes is particularly good, though Nightmine is a good card. Disrupting Terra Pokemon, I think. I mean, you look at the top 4 decks in the game right now. The only one surviving rotation is Dragapult. The others are like actually rotating. It's not like they're kind of surviving. No, they're not surviving. So Dragapult's very good. Nightmine's got to be horrendous for Dragapult. And then there's Light Ball, I guess, good for Pikachu EX. Oh, there's and Zekrom, that's good for Enzoric EX. Definitely a nice addition there. Again, there's a handful of Megas, which are like fine. Then there's also going to be, and again, I'm mostly talking post-rotation here. Then from the start deck, 100 battle decks, there's also Mega Audino EX, which I mentioned earlier. It's kind of like TM Turbo Energized, does some coin flip elements to it, but it's generally better, though it is a Pokemon. It's a bit different, but I do expect this to see play within the Mega Box deck, which we have in Standard right now. There's some other fun single prize decks. There's a lot of filler in this set as well, but anyways, tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on this set. If you think, or the 2 sets actually releasing at the beginning of this year, tell me if you're very excited for them like I am, or you think they're going to be disappointing and I'm like overrating them. Because, you look at Phantasmal Flames and the cards last year and they're kind of or this year that just wrapped up, and they're kind of underwhelming. So I'm really looking forward to the cards next year and some new, hopefully new mechanics. But I hope you are too, and I hope you enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.